One other article that I read from you, Florian, was you wrote about whether or not CMS will survive through Industry 4.0. Again,
Yeah.
obviously, it's a very it's a topic that means a lot to me. Obviously, running a company called Upkeep, I would
Yeah.
love to hear some insight into why you think that, or what your thoughts are around, whether or not CMS will survive through Industry 4.0.
Yeah, so as I was just saying earlier, there is a crazy amount of CMMS on the market, and at the moment, if I'm taking any average of what is a CMMS, I call it an aging technology in a saturated market. Because yeah, I mean there is a trend for sure in the CMMS right now. I think mobility for the last exactly when you came up, with Upkeep, like for the last 5 years, mobility has been a crazy move for the CMMS, and then you can already see on that landscape that the CMMS that can bring mobility, they age it. They're already part of the past, CMMS where you go in a plant where they're still printing all the work orders and so on, is like, oh, you didn't move. You're still doing that, I mean, but it's already a leap, already on the age. So yeah, there is many things that CMMS are we think they are will have to move and shift towards digital for sure. But for me, the biggest pinpoint of any CMMS at the moment will be, I call this empty shell. So when you get it, it's empty. So you have all that process to register your asset and so on. So I think a CMMS overall is also never updated. You can't, anywhere you go, people are keeping everything, all the assets tidy up as much as they can, but it will always be slightly different from the reality potentially if you don't put a lot of process in place. The last point is the data integrity. People are picking wrong assets, wrong things when they're creating work orders and requests and so on, or they're taking shortcuts. So there is a lot of work around those three things to be done. And so I think that Industry 4.0 is sort of the answer to help the CMMS to get better at those three things. So for example, we were talking about maintenance as a service. If you're buying a new machine, maybe the asset tree is already there on a CSV file, and then you can import it into your CMMS, or you can API it with your CMMS. And then, I know, for example, Upkeep is working a lot on this initiation into the CMMS. The fact that you have to set up everything is getting H2, and then that's where another leap will be created where you can interface your CMMS with your manufacturers or your machines or the software, I think.
I think what I hear from you is that some CMS companies are not going to survive this, industry 4.0.
Oh, no.
But just like how the industry is adopting so much, so is technology for the industry. And we, as a CMS company, as an enterprise asset management software company, are prone to this change as well. And it's on us to also adapt to the changing times. Otherwise, we are, like you mentioned, going to be insignificant in just a few years from now.
And yeah, it's why, when I'm saying is CMMS will survive Industry 4.0, I'm talking about the CMMS as we know them, for the last 20 years.
And, there's a good chance that in another 20 years, it'll look completely different. And I'm excited about it.